In this video, I will briefly touch upon how to create this repo, which shows how to create a Q&A application using Azure OpenAI. The specific deployment type I am using is the one for creating a web app and batch processing. I tried it earlier. I faced certain challenges, so I thought I'll cover those as well while uh, while I talk about how to create this deployment or of the deployment of this repo. So uh, the first challenge, basically, what I do is I right-click here, and you will see what the deployment looks like and what it deploys. So I'll first go to my right tenant. Now, this is the deployment which it tries to create. And what you do is you provide your resource group, and then you provide a prefix, and all the resources created by this deployment would use that prefix. Then you also provide OpenAI's your deployment information about your deployment of OpenAI. Now, what I found was that if I create a resource group new and just create no, just provide names without creating them first for the OpenAI resources, the deployment failed. So what I did before running this deployment was I first created my OpenAI uh, resource itself. So I went to the Azure portal and created basically I went to the Azure portal and created a resource group and the OpenAI resource. So what I did is I first created my resource group, which I called MC2 QnaAOAIGitDemo. And then after creating the resource group, I created my OpenAI resource, which is MC2 QnaAOAIGitDemo AOAI. So that resource is here. And once I did that, I went to the studio and deployed both the embedding and the chat model. So I'll show you here. So I created these two deployments first. Well, after creating these, uh, I went to this deployment, and then I provided the resources here. So first key takeaway from me was create your OpenAI resources and resource group before you use this deployment. At least that was my experience. And second, depending and the values here, so this then will become the OpenAI resource in which you have your this becomes the resource group in which you have your OpenAI deployment. And for OpenAI name, you provide uh, this name here, which is your OpenAI's name, which is MC2 QNA, the OpenAI resource you created. That goes here, and the key can be found. You can find it from the portal or the OpenAI Studio. So what I did, I went to my resource group, then I went to the OpenAI resource, and here I can get the names of the resource from here as well, OpenAI resource, and I can get the keys from here. So I copied that into the key. Now, engine is interesting. Engine is the name of the deployment, not the model type. So here, both the names are the same, so I was confused which one goes. So if you, for example, call it GPT-3.5 rather than GPT-3.5 Turbo, that's your deployment name, and the model name is this, then you're basically copying these fields, the deployment names, here in these fields. So this is your deployment name of your models, and so like in my case, the model I'm using will be GPT-3.5 Turbo. That's the deployment name. So I would put that here. And GPT 3.5 is not a text model; it's a chat model. So you have to change it to chat. Another thing I noticed was this is case sensitive. So when I used small letter C, the deployment failed. So make sure that you use the right, it's case sensitive. So use the chat with capital C. And then the embedding model is also the same, the deployment name. So you do that here. Once you've done this, you create, you review and create. And once that is done, your deployment will be created. And in that deployment, assuming everything goes fine, you will see a web app called QnaAOAIGitDemo MC2 site. So this is what you're looking for. And once you have found that, click on it and then click on browse. Once you have done that, you will see an interface like this. And I already checked that it's working fine, but initially when you will open it, you will not see these green uh, indicators that everything is fine. You will probably only see check deployment. So what you need to do is you click on check deployment, and it's gonna go through and that it's gonna check that everything you needed to deploy has been deployed. So let me try to show it to you again. If I go to the uh, my resource group, which was MC2Q demo. Once your deployment is successful, you will see all these different resources created. What you're looking for is the one which ends with site or it's an app service. Click on that, and then you click on browse. That takes you to the site, and now you see check deployment. So if everything is okay, when you click on it, then you will see that all the deployments have been created successfully. And if there was an error, you would know what the error is. So this is your application created from that kit, and it has different capabilities. You can do chat, for example, here. So let's say if I just say, what is your uh, capital of, say, England? I can do a chat here, and it makes some suggestions, and it also tells me the answer because it's still using the model grounded from the internet knowledge. I can go and add documents. So I can, for example, if I want to ground this application with a specific document, I can find that document, and it's going to create all the indexes, etc. itself. The document management is where you see all the documents you have used or added in this application. As you add uh, documents, the index are created automatically, so you can see the indexes here. And then it has certain applications like document summary. So you can see if you give an answer, sorry, if you give a text, and how you want that text to be either summarized or explained in a very simpler way. So I found it very useful looking into when I look into legal contracts, and especially putting a contract here and then mentioning that explain this contract or this clause to me in as you would to a second grader. So this is how the application works. So just make sure that the things I mentioned to you about some gotchas around creating this deployment, you take care of those. But otherwise, it's a very good application to show the power of large language models. Thanks so much for watching.